That's dope still. So basically in 2009, you run and you get in. Is it hard to do the election thing? Like you got to get the signatures and run through all the party stuff and all
Yeah,
of that?
of course, I went through, that. And, I think there was a growing awareness as I ran, as we came down the final weeks, that I had a good shot at winning. I had a team and they were my volunteers. They weren't like volunteers from the party. They were all local people, my friends and neighbors from NDG. We had a little office on Sherbrooke Street. Um, it was right near Draper, was kind of in the building now that's been, it was just an empty storefront, a small empty storefront. And we did it. We worked hard, and on election night, we were darn happy to win. And like I said, I was the only one. So the Applebaum team won all the other seats in NDG and the mayorship, and there I was on my own. And Applebaum put me in an office all by himself. I wouldn't even caucus with them with the civil servants. I would just be like by myself in this office, and the borough manager would come and give me details separately by myself.
Wait, can they do
So
that?
that's
They,
it's unheard of because I certainly sensed in this last mandate we all caucused together. I mean, Mr. Perez, Marvin Rocha, Sue Montgomery, all of us. Even after the Sue Montgomery break with Projet Montreal, we still all caucused together. So that's the standard procedure. So
that's wild.
I had to dig up the information myself.
So you win an election. You're the only guy, and there's five of the city councilor seats, right? And then there's the
That's
mayor
correct. Yeah,
position,
that's
and
correct.
they literally put you in a corner, not
And the
hyperbolically.
corner was like I had no window. I was in an office without a view of the outside. It's like a closet.
That must have been quite the experience. I'm like actually just like, wow, that's fucking wild.
I mean, I was happy to have been elected for the first time in my life, and I'd never experienced the caucus, the caucus, borough caucus. So I guess I didn't know what I was missing, or you know what I mean. But I didn't get to hear them asking all their questions to the civil servants. So I guess I had to go dig it all up myself.
So I guess you run through that, and then what is it like then being in your first term? Like, what do you discover about the?
Well, I kept, being when you're the outsider, when you're the opposition, you get to be the critic. In some respects, it's easier. I would say it's definitely easier psychologically. You get to be putting people down, and nothing gets blamed on you because I wasn't. You're not responsible. I mean, clearly, especially when you're the lone opposition like I was. So, we try to dig up issues. I was pushing a lot for the MUHC traffic plan or the bicycle bridge there were things I spent a lot of time working on. It's hard to achieve things. They wouldn't give in. They wouldn't give anything. So, whereas in my second mandate with Copeman, in some respects, that might have been the most productive mandate because Copeman had a mixed bag. He wasn't with Coderre from the start. He and Marvin Rocha had run with some other guy, Cote. Lionel was with Coderre. Jeremy Searle was a crazy independent, and then me and Magda were with Projet. So there was this complete mixed bag. So Copeman, to his credit, always operated more democratically, more openly, more transparently. He was clear about how things would work from the start and would listen to people. And for instance, with Copeman, we were able to get the bicycle path along the Maisonneuve in front of Vendôme Metro, the Vendôme Danger Zone, as it was called. It's not as good as the bike bridge I really want and still fighting for, but it's much better than what was there before to get cyclists through that key area. And of course, the movement on the metro station elevators also got formally going, absolutely officially going under at the beginning of the Coleman years.
All right. So how many like parties are there in Montreal back then? So I don't even know when Projet Montreal
I was
starts.
always the rising, opposition. I was with Mr. Bergeron a couple of times. And then the first time, we were about 10 in city council with Mr. Bergeron. The second time we were more, we were 20-ish, I forget exact number. But Mr. Bergeron was proving to not be so popular, and Melanie Joly actually beat him in the popular vote, and that's one of the reasons he resigned. So then he was gone. And then here's a key thing I'm going to say to you and to the people of NDG too. Remember when Projet Montreal had a leadership race between two people, Valérie Plante and Guillaume Lavoie? It was a serious race. In the final, several thousand people voted, and Valérie Plante won by a slim margin, something like 1,200 to 1,100 votes. And they had debates all over the city, including in NDG. I remember that night in NDG when 100 people came down, 100 plus people came down to the St. Raymond Center. They got to listen to Valerie Plante. They got to listen to Guillaume Lavoie, ask questions, hear them debate, and then join. You know, many of them were members of the party, but if they weren't, they could join and then go and vote for which of the two they thought made more sense, had better answers, etc. What a splendid display of democracy. And I'm going to say one thing about, you know, the Sue Montgomery party. I think Sue's intentions are good, and I think, you know, some people are working with her, and that they're democratic right, and it's good that they're involved in democracy. Happy for that. But on the other hand, it is just the Sue Montgomery party. There was no leadership race. I don't remember a debate where Sue and other people who might think likewise to her had a debate between themselves to see who would be the leader of the Courage Party. Seems a bit just Sue Montgomery is the one in charge and the others have to follow. And that's not what happened with Valerie Plante and Projet Montreal, where people had a vote and they came and had a debate right here in NDG.
That's an interesting point. I didn't know there were debates. To be fair, in 2017, I wouldn't have given a crap about a debate in NDG. I'll be real with you. But like, is that is there a lot of like NDG politics debates? Like, is that a thing that actually goes down?
I would say there was other things. When Christian Arsenault, both times he ran, he tried in both 2013 and 2017. He sought that it started with him seeking the nomination in the Loyola district, and he had competition both times, serious competition, where several hundred people again went into the Benny Gym and got to vote for either Christian Arsenault or the person who was seeking the nomination against him. Several hundred people voted, and both times Christian won by slim margins. I think the second time it was by one vote or something. So again, you know, people had input. It was democratic. So again, I think, you know, Projet Montreal is a democratic tradition, and you know, we still welcoming more people, and we have more people joining. I mean, we're really stepping up our commitment and dialogue with all cultural communities in Montreal. So for instance, our mayor candidate in Côte-des-Neiges-NDG, I'm so proud of her. It's Gracia Katawa. She's a Congolese immigrant. She moved to Quebec at a very young age. Her French and her English are excellent. She worked at the Jewish General Hospital as a nurse for 10 years. So she's got the experience of caring for people, caring for the residents. Most important, she then got herself elected as the sort of president of the Nurses Association, first just at the Jewish, but then are all over Quebec. So she knows how to deal with both English people and local people and the bureaucracies in Quebec City and Center City, Montreal. And this is a key skill that I think Sue, unfortunately, was a bit lacking on, especially, you know, you might not adore the bureaucracy and the functionaries and the civil servants, but they're there. And one has to be able to negotiate with them, to gently push them, to build a consensus with them too, so that we can actually get things done. So Gracia Katawa is a great candidate for the mayor of Côte-des-Neiges-NDG, and I've seen her now in action, talking to people. She's positive, energetic, confident in herself, while still very listening and used to, you know, building consensus to try to move forward.
That is one big cosign for her. I like that you're like that. I like that you're like, nah, we the team. It's not just me. I got my spot, but the team matters too.